Hello everyone, Lily here. Welcome to my channel. Today I am doing day 10, 11, and 12 of the 31 Days of Tarot hosted by Ethony. And I've posted a link below to Ethony's website where she lists the prompt for January 2021. And day 10 is if you could design a 79th tarot card that everyone would use, what would it look like? What would it represent? And honestly, I find that's a tough question and one that I've never given much thought of, mainly because tarot has been around for, well, a few centuries now with 78 cards. And I think if another card was necessary, we'd have a tarot 200-year-old tarot that's 79 cards instead of 78. So that's one thing. And the creators that have added extra cards to their decks, I found that they're good for their deck, but they have no staying power if you take them out of their deck and combine them with another one. Just recently I came across a card, and I'm sorry I forget which deck it was, but it was a happy squirrel card, which went really well with that deck but wouldn't fit anywhere else. So those are my thoughts on question 10. Question 11 is tarot decks that you want to work with more in 2021. So the first one I'm going to show is the Shadowscape. Here are the backs. And mainly my way of wanting to work more is really to just go through the guidebook, learn more about the cards, and in particular to the I called it the Shadowscape, Shadowland. I really, there's a part in the book that she talks about, and she's got spreads for past lives, which I'm interested in delving in 2021. Like, it's a subject that I have never studied. I've attended a few workshops, like quick workshops and stuff like that, but I've never studied much of the subject, and it's something that, well, it's something new that I'm interested in learning. So that's one thing. The second one is following up a course I took in the fall of 2020 on the Marseille Tarot. I want to practice more. So this is the Jean Noblet deck. These are the back. And, it's just something that I want to work with more. Especially how to use the pips and learning about numerology at the same time. So that's number 2. And question 12 is the same thing except for oracle cards, is which oracle decks do I want to work with more in 2021? And again, it's because I want to learn more about them. And the first one is, it's a deck I've had for a long time, but I've never, again, studied it or looked at it, and it's the Psy cards. And this is a deck of 40 cards. I recently acquired a guidebook, then, a more extensive guidebook than what's supplied with the deck on how to use the cards. I don't know what's wrong with my tongue right now. I'm twisting it. So mainly because, I like the art actually in this deck. So it's a deck that's been around for a long time, but there's not a lot of information on it. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the archetype cards. And mainly I'm auditioning this deck again, just because I actually don't know what to do with it. And I just want to figure out a way that I can use it, because I think it could be interesting. And I'd love to hear tips on how people use this deck, except to pull a card here and there. So again, like I think I'm going to grab one of Carolyn Miss's books. Like the little white book references sacred contracts, so I might get that book and see if there's any way I can use this deck. So that's number 2. Number 3 is this deck that I received again in 2021, and this one has its own system that I want to read and that I want to learn about. It's got 73 cards and it's grouped into 8 categories. Yeah. And you can read it right out of the box, because it's got, you know, it's got a title and a description below, but on the back you also have, you can also work with the separate the backs. Like this one is spiritual hygiene, and here is hypervigilance and illusion. So it's got its own system that I want to learn more about and see how I can use it. Here's another one, personal and physical. So I think that's it. So this was day 10, 11, and 12 of the 31 days. So I'm going to leave it here and wish you a good day. Until next time.